My name is Anabel Salimiar. So Roots is this brand that I created to really work on sustainable practices to embrace mental health and wellness. I create journals to kind of cater to different aspects of mental health and wellness and try to grow sustainable grassroots efforts in that sense. So I like to really prioritize organization, but also like inward reflection as well. So I do a lot of practice and research and work in mindfulness-based practices, positive psychology, and a lot of just like intervention work in that sense of how can we expand this to communities, to individuals in a way that's sustainable and easy to kind of get involved in and get practicing with. I have always had a passion for mental health, for helping others, and for like creating tools that are accessible to a lot of people. Something that I realized and have struggled with growing up was like ability to access resources, right? And I've seen that in the world today and really want to work towards, okay, how can we bring these mental health resources, wellness tips and tricks to individuals who might not have access to that, or also who like might just be interested and not know where to start, how to begin, so kind of developing this planner as a sense of one of those tools to kind of broaden someone's experience into mental health practices, organization, goal setting, things like that. One of my slogans or mantras is to not only organize your day, but organize your mind, using a planner, for example, or writing things down, journaling, reflecting. I completely agree in the power of writing your thoughts down. There's a lot of science and background for the importance of handwriting, especially compared to like typing or texting even. So I do think that there is a lot of strength in to-do lists, checklists, writing things down, organizing in that way. And that's kind of why I created this planner as my first set of journals as a way to show, okay, here's how you can make your goals. Here's how you can organize your to-do list. Here's your checklist, and have it all in one place to be able to track that as you go and stay on track so it doesn't get stuck in your mind, right? It's on paper, you can see it, so you're not overwhelmed with all these thoughts, hopefully, ideally, right, as you kind of progress. It's hard to rely on technology so much in a world that is so technology heavy, and I do a lot of work and interest in digital mental health interventions as well through my studies and research, but at the end of the day, I always come back to the power of paper, right? So having a physical journal, a physical notebook to take with you wherever, I find that is the most powerful aspect. And again, there's so much science in the ability to write things down and remember and memory and kind of having that brain health as well. So that's why I stick to paper myself. I mean, growing up in my community, I come from a Middle Eastern background and there is a lot of stigma around mental health, right? So growing up, that's been something that's really empowered me in my work today as well, working with different communities, different cultures and ethnic backgrounds to be able to really break those barriers of stigma and be able to kind of have more open conversations about mental health. And I think it's becoming more available in our society now. But for example, for older generations, I've seen my parents, and their culture and how it becomes so stigmatizing and trapping for not being able to talk about your mental health needs or struggles. So that's a lot of the work I do in my research at CU Boulder where I study now, but also in my kind of essence of how can we expand these resources again to reach everyone at any stage of any need and not make mental health treatment feel like it's so scary or unapproachable or something. It's kind of why I like to be able to be culturally competent in my work as well, and being able to understand different needs of different people and what that looks like for them, right? Some people can come up to me and just say I'm struggling with XYZ, how can I get help? But others might not be so forward about it, might not be willing to talk about it, but that's why I have these weekly check-ins actually for that reason of, hey, how can we just sprinkle in some health and wellness in a way that isn't so directly scary or frightening or in your face, but practicing mindfulness as we go, yeah.
You mentioned studying CU. What do you got going on there?
Yeah. So I'm a first-year clinical psychology PhD student at CU Boulder, right? So I've been passionate about psychology as a whole since early high school. And I've always been interested in research. So trying to find new techniques, new skills, new resources that work the best for different populations, right, and adapt those and then make them widespread. So a lot of my work is in like implementation science and adaptation of these different therapeutic techniques, and how can we expand those, right, to reach the most amount of people that we can and make it important and interesting to them. You know, like different people of different ages and backgrounds will have different interests, right? So how can we make, you know, this journal interesting to a lot of people, but some people want like a workbook, or some people want like to draw or do art. You know, how can we adapt to fit the needs is some of the work that I am going to pursue in the next couple years.
In other words, how to keep the mind busy.
Yes, yeah, exactly, right? And kind of just practicing that grounded mindfulness. I did a lot of work previously in a positive psychology clinic in Santa Barbara, so I like to integrate positive psychology into these works and to really learn how to be grounded, mindful, you know, practice intention. That's one of the, I think, again, like one of the most important things in mental health and well-being is trying to be grounded, be present, and staying organized can help in that sense of just like keeping yourself on track, not getting too overwhelmed, like you said. It's because I believe so strongly in like foundation, right? So building strong roots, that's your foundation, that's your daily habits, your practices, and then from there your plant, your flower will grow, right? It all starts from the roots. So I believe so strongly in kind of building that foundation to be able to then grow from there, but you need to have strong roots before you can expect yourself to be 100%, you know what I mean? So my friend Michelle Krebs, she's over in California. She runs the Who's Your Mama podcast, and she's great. She's been a great collaborator of mine for the past 3 years, and working on different iterations of this day-by-day planner. Actually, I started, you won't believe it, this is not the first one. There's been at least 4 different books now, and we've worked together with her input on how to adapt that, how to change that, and how to, you know, connect with student populations, but also parents, teens, mothers, families, fathers. So really how to just expand in that sense and build community. I recommend going for it. I mean, I was someone that was originally stunted by time. Like I thought that I wanted to wait until I got my PhD before I started this, and my plan was always to wait, right? But then one day and the new year came around and I thought, why don't I just start now, right? Like it's never too late, I can just do this. So I do think just follow your passion. If you're interested in business, just take that first step and look for resources and people to connect with to help. That's been something really helpful for me is, okay, who can I reach out to help me guide? Because I have no business background, you know, other than what I'm doing now and what I've learned. So just building those connections and not being afraid to make that first step. I'm available on social media. Roots is my name, so it's spelled RO.O.OT.S, Roots. And I also have a website and an email on my website as well. So my website's Roots Wellness with 2 S's. Would love to connect with anyone who, yeah, my email? My email is just my first and last name at Gmail. So it's anabel.salamian@colorado.edu.